Hey everybody, I'm Harry Arnett. Welcome to Callaway Talks. I have something on Callaway Talks today that has never been seen before in the history of golf. And it's not Alan Hocknell. You've seen him before, so it's not him.
Not me.
So you know this has to be something special. You know how else they know this is something special?
The red sweater?
And the tie. Today, take a look at this. Because a lot of people will say, well, that's only like a 2-inch thing. How can that be something that's going to revolutionize golf? But this actually is Gravity Core. And this is the new Gravity Core technology from Callaway. And if you're like me, you have to say it like the movie trailer guy, Gravity Core. Because this is the first time ever that we've been able to adjust vertical CG independent of loft.
That's right.
So tell us why that's a big deal.
That's a big deal because we can decouple launch angle from spin rate for the very first time. And what that means is the golfers are going to achieve launch conditions that they've never achieved before, and that's going to add to extra distance.
So it looks like this. This is the Big Bertha Alpha. You'll notice immediately right there, there's the port, the Gravity Core port right in the club head. And just by adjusting the Gravity Core, either Gravity Core up or down, we've seen golfers that get up 600 RPM and more adjustment in RPM on backspin, that's a big deal.
That is a really big deal.
Now, my question to you is this, because you know that I don't understand any of this stuff. How did you do that? Because a lot of people think you couldn't do that, that it couldn't be done.
Yep, it does require quite a lot of weight to move around in the head in order to move the center of gravity vertically. So the Gravity Core weighs about 12 grams, and it has a really heavy end and a really light end. With the heavy end down, we produce one of the lowest center of gravities in the market. That gives us a really low spin rate. And with the heavy end up, we produce a more intermediate spin rate. So it requires about that weight to move by about that distance in order to shift the CG vertically. And we're moving it directly vertically. You know, it's going straight up and down in a tube which goes and connects the sole to the crown. And that tube is made out of a carbon fiber material, and it allows this Gravity Core to hold steady inside the head while you go hit the golf ball with it.
Because there are like 8 different types of materials in this head that can make it happen.
We didn't actually set out to design an 8-material driver, but you know, it's a good sort of point of innovation here in that it takes that kind of construction complexity to make the weight available to do all the things that are in this head. So this head actually has 4 independent forms of adjustability. It has 2 in the hosel, which gives you loft independent of lie. It has the Gravity Core, which is vertical center of gravity, and then it has 2 weight screws, which gives you CG bias as well. So there are 4 independent forms. In order to enable all of that in the head, we had to have a really lightweight crown, so we've got a forged composite crown, really heavy parts in some places. The tip of the Gravity Core is tungsten. Titanium construction, carbon fiber in the tube I already mentioned. There's aluminum in one of the screws, there's steel in one of the screws, there's ABS plastic as well. So there's an awful lot going on here in order to enable all 4 of those forms of adjustability, head weight of only about 205 grams. That allows us to build the entire club at 45.5 inches and D3 swing weight only. So this isn't a tank of a golf club like some adjustable golf clubs are. This is pretty lightweight and clearly the first time that there's been this amount of adjustability available in one head. It really makes it the most versatile fitting platform ever also, because you got so much command over the center of gravity position and the loft and lie.
Because you really can take, with Gravity Core down, you get into this extreme low spin recipe that a lot of people are liking, but you still maintain, you know, the MOI characteristics that people need.
That's right. There can be some drawbacks in going to a low and forward center of gravity, and that is that the MOI of the head basically collapses to a really low number. That means that when you don't hit the center of the face, the head's pretty unstable, you lose ball speed. Another feature of having a really forward center of gravity is that you often have to add loft to the head just to get back the launch angle that you're otherwise missing. This head doesn't really have any of those drawbacks. It's got large MOI, even though it's got all this other things going on, and it has a particularly low center of gravity. So for those bomber type guys who have high head speed, good driver swing mechanics, and they need a low CG, then this is absolutely a driver that has something in it for them. But you can equally turn the Gravity Core around the other way produce a higher center of gravity, and now you've got something that fits a much broader range of golfers. Bearing in mind that you can also change loft by 4 degrees, you can change lie to a draw position if you want, the screws can be put in a neutral or draw. You can accommodate a very broad range of golfers that it's not just the preserve of the bomber. So.
Well, I can say this, I know I'm biased, so I admit to that full well, but you know, going back to when the first kind of metal driver came out, and then probably the next big innovation was titanium, I would say. I think what people are saying about this driver right now out, you know, our club pros that have seen it, tour players have seen it, I haven't seen an excitement about this type of technology in my lifetime. I wasn't really in the golf industry, obviously, when steel came around. I was a consumer when titanium came around. But I haven't seen this type of excitement for a technology, a true performance technology in a generation.
Yeah, I think quite a lot of people have asked me as the head of R&D, you know, in golf, aren't we just waiting for the next magic materials to come along? There was steel, then there was titanium. When's the next one? And the true answer to that, I've been telling them, and it's just not the case. There's one extra material on planet Earth. We're using all the best materials that we have. It's more about combinations of those materials, and then what do you do with it? And by combining these materials a certain way, the thing that we've done with it is produce the gravity core for the first time, and that is a function that people never expected to be made possible. It works great in tandem with adjustable loft. It's almost, if you like, the natural extension of adjustable loft to produce launch conditions that people might have never seen before and add to distance. I think that's great.
Now, what that means is people are going to be getting this type of these launch conditions that are going to help them hit longer drives than they ever thought was possible, frankly. And we're seeing that already in our testing with tour players.
We are, and it's fun to do that with the tour players, because you might imagine, oh well, the tour players are all high head speed, so they're all going to be gravity core in the low position because they all hit it hard, and that's not the case at all. We've seen, I think, an equal split of people with the gravity core in the high position and the low position. It shows that any one golfer can find an individual solution within this platform for them. I think that's fun for us to see, and it's an indication to average golfers everywhere that there's a way to individualize performance to you separately from your neighbor or the guy down the street or the guy in your foursome. Using a platform like this, you will get extra distance for you.
Well, and you and I we're not tour players. Did you know that? We're not tour players. But when we were together out in the desert on a launch monitor, we actually fitted it into gravity core down, which I was standing there. I saw your ball speed go up and your spin rate go down into the 2400, and you picked up 15, 16 yards like that. And guess what? He already was fit into the driver he was playing. So that was added yards. That's the kind of ball speed, not so rich, getting richer.
Yeah, it's true. So it's not just the tour pros or anybody like that. It's me, with my 150 mile an hour ball speed. I got a big advantage out of this, and it was great to go through that process of being on the launch monitor and seeing the numbers come more and more into focus, and you could see with your own eyes that the ball was going further. It was great.
He had his game face on too. I was standing there, so he was really happy to see that happen. And I was the same way, because I thought, all right, I'm probably not going to be a good candidate for this really low spin recipe. But same thing, gravity core down. I was gaining ball speed. I wasn't having to jack the loft up. And my spin rate was coming down, and I was adding yardage. And for me, that's really important.
Yeah.
I guess for everybody, that's important.
I think it is for everybody.
So that's the Big Bertha Alpha. Oh, and actually also, how could I forget? We also have a shaft that comes with this one. Why wouldn't we?
Why wouldn't
and
we?
this is similar to Big Bertha. This is the Fubuki Zeta Tour shaft, which is a brand new shaft that they're launching with us this year.
Yeah, and this is slightly heavier than the Zeta driver. The Zeta shaft. Slightly firmer torque profile and stiffness profile, but I think a great match to this head. We're real pleased to have this as a sort of launch partner with the Alpha driver.
So this is a game changer. Congratulations again.
Thanks.
And we're going to have you back on here pretty soon to talk about what's next. Big Bertha Alpha driver available on Valentine's Day, 2/14. So just
14.
like I'm going to get myself Big Bertha and Big Bertha Alpha for Valentine's Day. Maybe I'll get Big Bertha for the wife and Big Bertha Alpha for myself. Or maybe I'll just get them both for myself. Thanks again, Alan, and we'll see you guys on Valentine's Day for the Big Bertha launch at retail.